Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
That breaking news from Capitol Hill, where President Biden will address the nation regarding the coronavirus pandemic. And that tops our news here at 4. The president is expected to announce that the U.S. has delivered more than 100 million doses of vaccine abroad, more donations than all other countries combined. He also will address the situation here at home regarding vaccines. You may recall the U.S. reached the president's 70% COVID vaccine milestone for adults on Monday. Meantime, here at home, we just received an update on the COVID situation. Let's take a look at where things stand right now. 2,605 new cases. That's a 4-day average of about 651 cases a day. 26 more people have died. 63.7% of Michigan residents 16 and older have gotten at least one dose of the coronavirus vaccine. And speaking of the vaccine, Wayne State University requiring all staff, students, and faculty to get vaccinated for COVID-19 if they plan to be on campus in the fall. Officials say that any students, staff, or faculty members who knowingly violate the vaccine mandate will, quote, face consequences. Also of note, a mask mandate remains in place for indoor spaces on campus despite vaccination status. Meantime, auto workers at the Big Three will be required to wear a mask at all plants and offices regardless of vaccination status. Starting tomorrow, the mandate is in response to the CDC's guidance recommending masks be worn in places where COVID-19 spread is high. The UAW says they're also concerned about the highly contagious Delta variant. The daily case counts have been steadily rising, but not at the same rate as they have been for the rest of the country. We're joined by Dr. McGeorge to answer some of the questions you might have. So, Doc, let's start. Do you think that we're going to see a more significant increase like the rest of the country, or are we going to kind of smolder along like we've been?
You know, Karen, I wish I knew. What I can tell you, though, from looking at the graphs from the past year and a half, through multiple surges, it's just not that unusual for Michigan to be out of sync with large parts of the U.S. In fact, just remember, a few months ago in April, we saw a huge surge in Michigan that filled our hospitals while the rest of the country was pretty much quiet. Now it's actually reversed, and we are doing okay.
So when you say out of sync, does that mean we're eventually going to catch up with more cases?
Well, you know, Karen, there are two things that make that really hard to judge. First, the Delta variant, with its significantly greater infectivity, has really changed the landscape in the past few months. Now, on the other side, though, is the fact that we have the vaccines now. The problem is that not everyone who is eligible has been vaccinated, and in some areas with especially low rates of vaccination, the Delta variant could really explode. And of course, another looming issue is going to be the return to school. If we don't get vaccination rates up and new cases begin to shoot up like the rest of the country, especially like they are with lower vaccination rate areas, the return to school is going to be a serious challenge for any kind of containment.
I know we've been talking about that a lot with all of our mom and dad friends locally here. Question, okay, so how long before Michigan then reaches that higher substantial spread, enough that the CDC mask guidance will start to apply for us?
Well, you know, honestly, I think we're already pretty close. We know the Delta variant is rapidly increasing in the state of Michigan, and there are certainly counties in the state that have already had high or substantial spread, which of course is the threshold that the CDC uses to highly recommend mask use. But, you know, it's an elective thing at this point for people in their personal life. And I think if you're in an area with a high COVID rate, or if you are somebody that is at high risk, you should start wearing a mask again now.
Always appreciate the insight. We appreciate your time. Thank you, Doctor. Well, a heads up for Michiganders. Today is the last day to enter the My Shot to Win sweepstakes. Now, the goal of the campaign is to encourage Michiganders to get vaccinated by offering cash incentives. Residents must be 18 and older and have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine to register. You'll qualify for the remaining $500,000 giveaways and the $2 million drawing. You can enter the My Shot to Win sweepstakes on our website. Click on Detroit.com. While at an event today, the governor addressed coronavirus mitigation and the vaccine situation. Take a listen.
This Delta variant that is sweeping the South right now, and they are building COVID wards again in the South, shows that if you are vaccinated, you are protected. We've learned a lot more about the virus. We're going to continue to learn more. And that's why I think it's important we give each other a little bit of grace and recognize that the science is evolving, so the communication evolves. But we're doing our best to make sure that people have the information they need to stay safe And to move our economy forward requires all of us use that information and stay safe.
Now, the governor has suggested masks be worn indoors regardless of vaccination status, but that's as far as she's gone. No mandates have been issued. Also breaking here at 4, a law enforcement officer is stabbed and killed outside of the Pentagon's transit station. A suspect was shot by law enforcement and died at the scene. The incident sent the Pentagon into lockdown, but it was later lifted. The scene is secure. Police are not searching for any other suspects at this time. New information right now as Governor Andrew Cuomo responds to a report from the New York Attorney General's office. Now, the report released today found the New York governor sexually harassed multiple women, including current and former state employees, and retaliated against a former employee for coming forward with her story. Here is what the Attorney General of New York said about the investigation.
They reviewed more than 74,000 pieces of evidence, including documents, emails, texts, audio files, and pictures. These interviews and pieces of evidence reveal a deeply disturbing yet clear picture. Governor Cuomo sexually harassed current and former state employees in violation of both federal and state laws.
The Attorney General's report states that Cuomo denied some specific accusations, but the investigators wrote that they found the denials lack credibility given the weight of the evidence. In a recorded response a short time later, Governor Cuomo stayed defiant.
The facts are much different than what has been portrayed. I never touched anyone inappropriately or made inappropriate sexual advances. I am 63 years old. I've lived my entire adult life in public view. That is just not who I am, and that's not who I have ever been.
Now, the probe began in March after the state's executive chamber granted the AG's request to investigate. Back here at home, Detroit City Councilman Andre Spivey appeared in court today to face federal bribery charges. Spivey was charged last week over claims he accepted more than $35,000 to be, quote, influenced and rewarded for votes. He entered a not guilty plea for one count of bribery and was released on a $10,000 personal bond. Spivey has not resigned from council, although his attorney says federal authorities might require him to. Rod Maloney shares more on the arraignment when you join us tonight at 5. We got breaking news from Rose Township, where police respond to a home invasion. It's happening on Holly Shores Drive. State police tell us one person was injured, is expected to be okay. The suspect is in custody. No other information has been released at this time. All right, now to a Local 4 News update. Northbound I-75 now has one lane open from I-696 to 12 Mile in Madison Heights. Crews have been repairing that road after a sinkhole was discovered on Friday. MDOT tells us a second northbound lane could reopen by the end of the week. The northbound I-75 service drive remains closed from 11 Mile to Gardenia Avenue. Meantime, on southbound I-75, 2 lanes remain open. A spike in air travel is being met with some delays at some of the nation's airlines. Spirit canceled more than 270 flights on Monday. Nearly 1 in 5 flights were canceled Sunday. The airline says weather and operational challenges are to blame. Metro Detroiters have been stuck waiting in massive lines for hours. Many of them say they're frustrated by what's going on.
Our flight was to leave at 2:50 p.m. and then our flight was delayed 5 times until 7:15. I really would like Spirit to own up to everything. Stop giving people the runaround. It's not fair. It's not cool.
It started to get delayed, and just now it erupted up there. And pilot issue. There was not a flight attendant, and we got canceled again.
You can reschedule your flight or ask for a refund by calling Spirit Airlines customer service. Today is Black Women Equal Pay Day. According to census data, Black women working full-time are paid 63 cents for every dollar paid to white non-Hispanic men. As a result of that discrepancy, Black Women Equal Pay Day, which marks the day that symbolizes how long into 2021 Black women must work to make what men were paid in 2020, does not occur until August 3rd, 2021. U.S. Representative Brenda Lawrence issued a statement about this day. It reads in part, Black women are carrying out the essential work for our country. This is an economic injustice that has gone on far too long. We're fighting for equal pay for equal work. The Detroit August primary election is today. Voters will narrow down the candidates running for mayor, city clerk, and 5 city council seats. Detroit voters also will weigh in on Proposal P. That proposal is a proposed Detroit charter. In other words, if it passed, it would revise the city's current governing laws. Supporters of Proposal P say it will modernize and improve the city's governing document. Those who oppose it say it will cost Detroit $2 billion over 4 years, make it impossible for the city to submit a balanced budget, and then could force the city back into bankruptcy. Polls are open until 8. You are required to have a photo ID at the polls, and that includes a driver's license, U.S. passport, military ID, or student ID. You cannot split your ticket. You can only vote for candidates of one party. The Detroit branch of the NAACP Voter Hotline can assist you with any questions you have about voting. You can also report any signs of voter intimidation or suppression. That number is on your screen. You can find election results here on clickondetroit.com as well as on air when you join us tonight at 11:30. All right, let's turn our attention to the weather. Let's bring in Ben. What are we expecting this evening, Ben?
Whole lot more of Pleasantville, Karen. We've got temperatures which are still below average, and we've got that humidity which is low. So if you've been sort of riding with the windows open and giving the AC a break, that may change in the coming days as we head towards the upcoming weekend. But pleasant out there right now, a lot of 70s, just barely touching 80 at the City Airport and also at Detroit. Troy's at 82, but you can see most of the area is in the 70s right now and hardly a cloud in the sky. Anything that's out there is likely just some of those fair weather cumulus clouds. There's some activity a little bit further to the north. You can see some showers developing there from Big Rapids up through just north of Tawas there on the Lake Huron side. Those will be sinking south, but they're going to avoid us. We're really not looking for rain chances to push in to our neck of the woods until probably closer to the weekend. We'll look at that here in just a second. Great night for baseball. Red Sox in town taking on the Tigers. It's going to be a 7:10 first pitch over at Comerica Park. And starting out at 77 and then dropping pretty quickly with that dry air and a light wind down to 70 degrees by the time that game is wrapped up. So if you haven't seen a baseball game in person this year, it's definitely going to be a stretch of weather to take advantage of that. Here's the forecast for tonight. You can see that patch of wet weather to the north of us pretty much falls apart as we get into the evening hours. Then we're dry for the most part on Wednesday. Going to be a couple isolated showers pop up in the afternoon, but very few of us are going to see those. Most of us are going to be dry. Thursday's dry for everybody, and then on Friday night, I should say, we get more of an organized area of showers and thunderstorms move in here, and that's going to stretch through Saturday morning. That starts a chance of at least some thunderstorm possibilities all the way through the remainder of the forecast. 60 degrees tonight, but you can see in the high temperatures tomorrow, we're inching up just a little bit more compared to where we were today. 82 is what we're looking at for most of the metro zone for highs tomorrow, but with low humidity, this is going to feel like what the thermometer says. Upper 70s to right around 80 degrees in the south zone. West zone high temperatures, still some 70s out there. Howell, Fenton, Clarkston, you'll be at 79. Rest of the zone there in the low 80s. And in the north zone, pretty close to 80 degrees as we finish out our Wednesday afternoon. But watch what happens as we get into the back end of this forecast. Mid 80s there Saturday, upper 80s Sunday, low 90s Monday and Tuesday. We're also going to see a pretty big increase in humidity, Karen, for the weekend and next week. So by Monday and Tuesday, we could be seeing heat index readings in triple digits,
Whoa.
believe it or not.
We'll be definitely looking out for that and taking those extra precautions. We appreciate it, Ben. We'll see you a little bit later. Olympic excitement is in the air all across Metro Detroit, but particularly at Cass Community Social Services. Kim DeGiulio explains.
While we've all been glued to our TVs watching the Olympics in Tokyo, Cass Community Social Services has brought their own version of the Olympics right here to their Detroit campus.
It's day 2 of the Olympic activities for the Cass community members and staff, starting the day off with continuing the Olympic torch with a bonfire and some outdoor chair yoga.
Bring those arms up and over. You guys look wonderful.
My clients that did carry the torch yesterday were smiling the whole way, so I know they enjoyed it a lot.
Cerez Davis says watching the people he provides services for get outside and participate in team sports warms his heart because it's just what they need.
A lot of my clients deal with substance abuse. Some of them have, mental health issues that they deal with.
Many of our people struggle with health issues, diabetes, heart disease, AIDS, hypertension. So just a reminder that anybody and everybody can do something and that you feel better once you do.
Let's go. Get out of here. Cass Community Social Services covers a wide variety of needs in our city.
So we have people from our day program for developmentally disabled adults. We have people from our residential programs, including children and adults who have experienced homelessness. We have people from the tiny homes and people from the larger communities.
And this is the first event they've held that's involved their whole campus, meeting kids and elderly people, all enjoying this beautiful day while doing something fun.
Folks are excited about it. You know, t-shirts and real medals, it doesn't get any better than that.
Of course, Cass Community Social Services relies on volunteers and funding to have events like this, both which were lacking last year. So if you got the time or you'd like to make a donation, visit our website to find out more information. That's at clickondetroit.com. In Detroit, I'm Kim DeGiulio, Local 4.
Hey, we love it. Thank you, Kim. Gymnastics superstar Simone Biles wins a bronze medal in her triumphant Olympic return at the individual balance beam finals. The 24-year-old scored 14 on her performance. That put her in third place. She competed alongside her teammate Suni Lee, who placed fifth. Biles now has a total of 7 Olympic medals, which ties her with two-time Olympian Shannon Miller as the most decorated American gymnast in history. As for medal counts, USA at the top of the leaderboard with 73 total medals, including 24 gold, 28 silver, and 21 bronze. China follows with 69 medals, 32 gold. Team Russia in third place with 52 Olympic medals. Great Britain has 43, including 13 gold, and Japan is in fifth place with 36 medals. Here is a quick look at our on-air lineup tonight. Hope you join us at 7 for Jeopardy, followed by our Olympic Zone special, and then prime time Olympic coverage. Local 4 News will follow at 11:30. All right, thanks everybody for joining us here. First at 4, we will see you on Local 4 News at 5.